The leather suitcase made a hollow sound as it opened on the bed. Kemi folded her clothes with slow, deliberate movements. Each fold was precise, each item chosen with care. The house was quiet, except for the soft rustle of fabric and the occasional click of hangers in the closet. When Bode walked in and saw the suitcase, his face drained of color. "Where are you going?" he asked, his voice cracking slightly. Kemi paused, her hands resting on a neatly folded sweater. For the first time in years, she looked directly into his eyes and said simply, "Somewhere I can be heard." 13 years earlier, Kemi had fallen in love with Bode's laugh. It was loud and genuine, bursting from deep in his chest whenever she said something clever. Back then, he listened to every word she said, as if each one mattered. They married in a ceremony filled with music and dancing. Bode held her hand while crossing streets. He surprised her with late-night suya, her favorite spicy grilled meat. They danced in their tiny kitchen while waiting for water to boil. When she spoke, he leaned in. Their first child came during year 3 of their marriage. Bode took 2 weeks off work. He changed diapers at 3 a.m. and made tea while Kemi nursed the baby. He still listened then, asking about her day while he massaged her tired feet. Their second child arrived during year 5. Bode took 3 days off work. He was up for promotion. The company needed him. He changed diapers when asked. He made tea when reminded. He still loved her, but the listening began to fade. By year 7, Bode got his 3rd promotion. His phone became an extra limb. Dinner conversations became one-sided. Kemi would speak. Bode would grunt. She would ask about his day. He would answer with one word: "Fine." She would share her dreams. He would check his email. Between year 8 and 10, silence grew like a wall between them. Kemi tried breaking through it. She booked a marriage counselor. Bode cancelled, claiming work emergencies. She wrote him letters expressing her loneliness. He placed them on the counter, unopened. She cried in the bathroom at night. He pretended not to hear. By year 12, Kemi stopped trying to be heard. She performed her duties like an actor following a script. Cook breakfast, pack lunches, clean house, help with homework, smile at family gatherings, sleep with her back to the stranger beside her. She prayed. She fasted. She joined women's groups at church. But nothing filled the emptiness of living with someone who looked through her instead of at her. On a Tuesday morning in their 13th year, something inside Kemi went quiet. Not anger, not bitterness, just the calm that comes with decision. She made breakfast as usual. Scrambled eggs, toast, sliced fruit. She packed lunches for the children. She ironed Bode's shirts. She cleaned the kitchen counters until they gleamed. Then she opened the closet and pulled out the leather suitcase they had used on their honeymoon. It was dusty now. She wiped it clean and placed it on the bed. Kemi didn't cry as she folded her clothes. This wasn't a moment for tears. Those had dried up long ago. This was a moment for action, after years of waiting to be noticed. When Bode came home early that day, a rare occurrence, and found her packing, his shock was genuine. In all their years together, through all her tears and pleas, Kemi had never threatened to leave. "The children," he started, "will stay with you until I find a place," she finished. "They need stability. I need to find myself." "But why now? What happened?" Kemi stopped folding. "Nothing happened. That's the problem. Nothing has happened between us for years." That night, Bode couldn't sleep. The suitcase sat by the bedroom door like an unwelcome guest. His mind raced through memories he had been too busy to notice making. Kemi sitting at the edge of the bed, asking, "Can we talk?" and him checking his watch. Kemi cooking his favorite meals without thanks. Birthdays, he forgot. Anniversaries he let slip by with only a hasty card. The times she reached for his hand and he reached for his phone instead. For the first time in years, he couldn't blame work or stress or the children's needs. He had to face the truth. He had stopped seeing his wife. Morning came. The suitcase was by the front door now. Kemi's car keys sat on the table beside an envelope with his name on it. But the house wasn't empty. He could hear the children getting ready for school upstairs. Bode picked up the envelope with shaking hands. Inside was a single page. I didn't want to leave. Begged you with my words, then with my tears, then with my silence. But you didn't hear me. I am not leaving to punish you. I'm leaving to find myself. The woman who existed before, she became just a wife and mother. The woman you once saw. If you ever want me back, don't call. Don't text. Come find me. With your ears and your heart. Kemi had already left for her teaching job. The children came downstairs, ready for school, unaware that their world was about to change. "Where's Mom?" his daughter asked. "She had to go to work early," he lied, his throat tight. "I'll take you to school today." After dropping off the children, Bode did something he had never done before. He called his office and took emergency leave. Then he sat in his car and asked himself where Kemi would go. Her mother's house seemed most likely. He drove there, rehearsing apologies, but her mother hadn't seen her. "Though it's about time she left you," the older woman said. "You stopped seeing her years ago." He tried her best friend next. No answer. He called the school where she taught. They said she had taken personal leave. By afternoon, panic had set in. Bode drove aimlessly until he found himself outside the church where they had been married. On impulse, he went inside. The church was empty, except for one person. Kemi knelt in a pew near the front, her head bowed. She wasn't crying. She seemed calm, as if seeking guidance rather than comfort. Bode didn't rush to her. Instead, he quietly knelt in the pew behind her. For several minutes, he just stayed there, feeling the weight of all he had missed. "Kemi," he finally whispered, "I hear you now." She turned slowly. Her eyes held no anger, just a quiet sorrow. "It took a suitcase for you to listen, and I'll spend my life proving I never want to see one again." She didn't fall into his arms. There was no dramatic reconciliation. Instead, she asked, "Why should I believe you?" It was a fair question, one he didn't have a ready answer for. "I don't know," he admitted, "but I'm asking for a chance to show you instead of tell you." Kemi didn't come home that night, or the next. She stayed with her friend and called the children every evening. Bode managed the house, took the kids to school, and for the first time in years, came home by 5 p.m. every day. He also did something he had refused before. He called the marriage counselor. Kemi had tried to book years ago. "I'd like to make an appointment," he told the receptionist. "My wife tried before, but I was too busy. I'm not too busy anymore." A week later, he left a message for Kemi through her friend. "The counselor has an opening on Thursday at 4. I'll be there whether you come or not." She came. They sat in uncomfortable chairs with a stranger between them. Bode spoke first. "I stopped listening," he admitted. "Not all at once, but slowly. A text message here, a work call there, until ignoring you became a habit." The counselor turned to Kemi. "And what do you need?" Kemi's answer was simple: to be seen, not as a wife or mother or cook or cleaner, but as me, the woman with dreams and thoughts that matter. They scheduled weekly sessions. Bode bought a notebook and started writing down things Kemi said, not just the requests or plans, but her thoughts and feelings. He set alarms to remind himself to put down his phone at dinner. 2 weeks into counseling, Kemi agreed to come home. Not because everything was fixed, but because she saw genuine effort. The first night back was awkward. They moved around each other carefully, like dancers, learning new steps. But when Kemi mentioned a book she was reading, Bode asked questions instead of nodding absently. When she talked about a difficult student, he turned off the TV to listen better. Small steps, tiny movements toward each other. 6 months later, they weren't perfect. They still argued. Bode still got distracted sometimes. Kemi still felt unheard occasionally. But the difference was that now, they both noticed when it happened. Bode started writing her notes again, like he had during their courtship. Small things. You looked beautiful, teaching our daughter to braid her hair. I loved your laugh at dinner tonight. Thank you for listening to my work story. They started dancing in the kitchen again. Awkwardly at first, with too much space between them. But gradually, they remembered the rhythm they once shared. On their 14th anniversary, they returned to the church where Bode had found Kemi. They sat together in silence for a while, acknowledging how close they had come to losing everything. I almost packed that bag so many times, Kemi admitted. For years. Why didn't you? He asked. Hope, she said simply. And then, when hope ran out, I packed it not to leave forever, but to make you see me again. Bode took her hand. I see you now, and I'm still looking. Their marriage wasn't perfect. It wasn't a fairy tale. But it was real. It was work they were both willing to do. And most importantly, they both showed up each day, ready to listen and be heard. Sometimes, Kemi would catch Bode looking at her while she read or cooked or helped the children with homework. Not with the desperate attention of someone afraid of losing her again, but with the natural curiosity of someone discovering new things about a person they thought they knew completely. The leather suitcase was stored back in the attic, not thrown away. That would be denying the lesson it taught them, but put away, no longer needed as the only way to be heard. Share your thoughts about this story in the comments section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more exciting stories from the heart of Africa.